Italian hemstitching is a variation on the basic hemstitch. While basic hemstitching usually gets used at the beginning and end of a piece of woven fabric as a decorative weft protector, Italian hemstitching is more akin to decorative embroidery. It can still be used at the beginning and end of your weaving, but it's also a great way to add some detail work anywhere in your fabric. We're going to look at a couple different ways to use this technique. First, let's look at adding Italian hemstitching in your fabric just as a decorative piece. I'll be using a different weft color so it stands out. The first step is to cut a length of yarn in your chosen color, about 5 to 6 times the width of your fabric, and thread that onto a tapestry needle. Decide how large you want your squares to be. In this case, I'm doing a 2x2 Italian hemstitch. Each square is 2 warp squares wide and 2 weft threads tall. Once you have your details worked out, bring your yarn through a point 2 warp threads to the left of the edge of your fabric. Leave a short tail on the underside of the fabric that you can weave in to secure the yarn. You can also tie a knot here if you're worried about the yarn coming loose. Take your yarn and bring it right 2 warp threads to the edge of your fabric. Bring your needle behind the fabric and up through diagonally at a spot 2 warp threads over and 2 weft threads down. Pull your yarn through. Next, take your needle right 2 warp threads. Bring it around and behind the edge 2 warp threads to the left, where your yarn is currently coming out the front. Pull your yarn through. Next, bring your needle up 2 weft threads and pull your yarn through to the back of the fabric. Bring your needle around and behind the 2 warp threads to the left and pull your yarn through the front of the fabric. Bring your yarn up and over 2 warp threads to the right. Then bring your needle under and across the fabric 2 warps to the left and 2 wefts down. Pull your yarn through to the front. Move your needle 2 warp threads to the right, bringing it behind the fabric, and back to the left 2 warp threads. Pull your yarn through. To finish this square and start the next, bring your needle up 2 weft threads, and then move your needle under the fabric and left 2 warp threads. Pull your yarn through. This finishes the current 2x2 square and gives us our starting point for the next square. Repeat the process across the fabric. Overtop 2 warp threads to the right, down behind and diagonally across 2x2. Pull through your yarn. To the right 2 warps and loop around behind those 2 warps and pull your yarn to the front. Now go up 2 weft threads to finish the square and under to the left 2 warp threads to start the next. Here's the same process, but add it as I'm weaving instead of on top of an already woven section. Italian hemstitching goes rather quickly once you get the hang of it, and you're not locked into a 2x2 pattern. Experiment with different size squares, for example, 3x3 or even 4x4. I always fret over the last stitch because I feel like it won't be secure, but I've never had one unravel. Next week's video is going to be about finishing the fringe on this piece. As always, thanks for watching.